Hey guys, this is the second part of the Enter the OOP. Let's see what's the objective of this lecture. So, in the previous lecture, we talked about cyberspace, we talked about computational paradigm, object-oriented paradigm, and we introduced the anatomy of object. And also, we started anatomy of class, but we are in the middle of that. So we will finish the anatomy of class today. Then I will introduce a very useful tool. We call it UML. And also, I'm going to talk about how to document classes. All right. So let's start with the one section of the anatomy of class that we call it API. So first of all, API stands for Application Programming Interface. We we can talk about the API of a single class, or we can talk about API of a collection of classes. In programming languages, we can collect some classes and put them in somewhere. In Java, we put it in a Java jar file, and we call it library. So if you have a library or if you have just one class, we can talk about the application programming interface. But what is this API of a class or of a library? It is, whatever can be seen by other classes. Whatever here is, referring to the all of the services that that class or that library can give you. All right. So all of those services that are exposed to other classes is called API. When we are talking about only about one class, then we can use just the word interface. So instead of application programming interface, we can just call it interface. So interface of a class is exactly whatever can be seen by other classes. In other words, whatever it exposes to outside world. So of course we are talking about cyberspace, not a real world, right? So all of those services or methods of the class that can be seen by other classes is called its interface. We learned how to control the visibility of the class members in the previous lecture. Yeah. So we use some keywords that we call them access modifier. You remember we had public, we had uh, protected, and we had the default, and we had private, right? And also we learned that when we are looking at an object, it depends on from where we are looking at that object, and the visibility of the members varies based on that location. Let me show you a picture. For example, let's call this object A, let's call this object B, and both of them are in the same package. So whatever this object B can see from object A, since it located in the same package, is totally different than when we have an object C here and this guy is looking at the object A because it's located in another package, right? So just to refresh your mind, object B can see all of the members uh, except, all of those access modifier except the private one. So the public one, the protected and the default can be seen by object B. But what can be seen by the object C is only the public one up to this point. I mean, up to the this knowledge that we got so far, um, object C only can see the public members of object A. In this section, I'm going to introduce a very useful tool. We call it UML. There is an old saying that says a picture is worth 1,000 words. And based on our experience, this is a true statement. Instead of defining and describing a class by textual words, if we can represent it by a graphical notation, in many cases it's very, I mean, more useful than just describing it. Okay, UML stands for Unified Modeling Language, and this is an analogy. If I want to analogize between this tool and the tools that we use in mathematics, it is somehow equivalent to the Venn diagram for representing the sets, right? Sometimes using Venn diagram to represent a set, it depicts its the contents, and also most importantly the relationship between the sets. And exactly we have the same concept here for the UML. We represent classes and also we represent the relationship between them. How can we represent a class in UML diagrams? So class, it's a rectangle with 3 compartments. So class name, instance variables, and methods. And this is how we represent a class in UML diagrams. So class name is here, the instance variables here, and the methods goes here. So sometimes if we mention all of these uh, stuff of a class, the class will be very busy, right? In some cases, we can eliminate some of them. So, for example, we can eliminate the some of the instance variables and some of the methods. We usually mention those instance variables and those methods that have a key role in our application. Some of the instance variables are just auxiliary thing. We use them for some internal things in the class, so we don't need to mention them, right? And exactly the same thing for the methods. Some of the methods are just auxiliary, as a helper, let's say. So, so very high level responsibilities that I will talk about the responsibility in the next lectures. Uh, but up to, here we just say that some of the methods we call them responsibility, and here is some most important instance variables. Okay, let me take an example. So let's say we have a class called person, And here is how we represent it by the UML diagram. So here the first name, last name, height, and the date of birth, dependents, and here are some of the methods. We will talk about this stuff later. So sometimes, for example, we can, eliminate the type of the instance variables and or the return type of the methods. So this is a, simplified version of the person class. You see, there is no type here and there is no return value here. And also sometimes we can eliminate all of these stuff and just use the the class name. In this case, probably we would like to have a very high level diagrams. All right. In this slide, I want to introduce the free tools we have for creating a UML diagram. So the first one is called Violet, and it was provided by Dr. Horstman, the author of the book that I provided. Let me give you a very quick demo. So you click on this link, then you will go to this website and you can click here and download the application. After downloading, when you run it, uh, let's see, yeah, we will get this guy. So you can go to the file and new static views and class diagrams. So class diagram here, you just pick class and you can represent a class by this rectangle. You can double click that. It will give you the class name. Let's call it the person, and let's say the first name, last name, and so forth, right? And for the members, let's say, for example, get age, or let's say, for example, get first name, and so forth, right? We can continue that. And this is the person class, all right? So you can create another one here, and we are not done yet with this tool. We will get back to this because first we need some background knowledge, and then we get back to this tool and finish our demo. Okay. We have other tool called Star UML. It's more professional than the Violet, but Violet is enough for our course. But you might want to experience with the Star UML. It's a more professional. You can install the evaluation version that it can be forever. So your assignment up to this point will be installing the Violet and getting familiar with it. In this section, I'm going to talk about how to document a class. So we know that developers usually are very lazy about writing the comments and documents. Uh, there is a principle in software engineering that says when is the best time for writing the comment before writing the code, right? Before starting coding, you need to create your comments and you need to create your documents, right? So before creating a class, before creating a method, So how come? Because if you are not clear and if you cannot clearly write a document about a method that you want to create, it means that you have not understand it. You have not understood it, right? So you need to document everything before starting coding. This is the best practice. So what is the Java uh, comments? How can we comments in Java? We have three types of comments. One is the one-line comments that is start with forward slash like this. Another one is a multiple line that you put inside the forward slash star and star forward slash. Here is an example. And the third one is we call it Java doc um, comments, and it starts with forward slash star star, and then you put your comment here, and we close it with the star forward slash. And here is the example. So probably you are asking what is the difference between these two. Yeah, so the difference is when you use javadoc command, it will appear in the javadoc page. I will talk about that in a few minutes. Okay. We can put, javadoc comments if we want to be appeared in the javadoc page. Uh, we can put for the instance variables, constructors, methods, and also we can put the comments anywhere in the in the our classes. Okay, so let me show you a demo before going further. So this is our previous code. First of all, let me show you something. So in this way, when we show the packages, it's not so clear. Well, we need to change it to hierarchical uh, format this way. So in this way, the hierarchical format of the packages is being shown better. Um, okay, so let me show you how the comments work. So as you see, as you know, for example, if you want to comment this part, you just these shortcuts is very useful shortcut. So control forward slash will be comment this as a one line comment, and you can return it back with the same control forward slash. And if you want to comment the whole things, you can use the same thing, but you can use control shift forward slash to use the multiple line commands. But if you want to return it back, then control shift uh, backslash will return it back. Um, anyway, okay, so how about the um, Java doc comments? Yeah, you can start in the Eclipse forward slash star star and then enter. It will help you to create the comments for you. So this is a demo class. Okay. And for the methods, the same thing. Enter. Yeah, it will help you to put all of these parameters here. So if you have any parameter, you can, this is a method. Yeah, yeah, your description probably should be better than this. And if we have an instance variable, you can document that as, for example, the name. You can document it the same way. So again, these JavaDoc documents that start with slash star star will be appear in the JavaDoc page that I will show you in a few minutes. Okay, stores, name of the, for example, person. Okay, so we talked about one line document comment, multiple multiple line comment, and JavaDoc comment here. Let's get back to our presentation. All right. So there are some tags that are known to JavaDoc. Some of them are, for example, param, that you can use for defining and describing about your uh, methods, param, param name and the explanation, the return type, and throws if you want to throw some exceptions. And also we can create our own tags that I will cover later. Okay, so here is an example. So you see, we started with the forward slash star star, and then we are defining the description here. And this method has one parameter. The parameter appears here. The return type is a string, the array of string, it appears here. And just note that you should start with a capital letter, your first sentence, and you should finish it with a period. Uh, this first sentence will appear on the summary part that I will show you in a few minutes. And the rest of that will be shown on the, detailed description of the method in the JavaDoc page. Okay, to create this JavaDoc page, we have two options. Using the JavaDoc utility in command line. All right. So yeah, these are the explanation of whatever I said before. So we have two options using a command line. If you have a very simple application, you just go and just say JavaDoc and star point Java. All of the Java, we assume in this case that all of the Java um, classes are located in just one folder. In that case, it created JavaDoc for you, but it's not the case. Usually we use more complicated package structures, and then we would need to use this guy. And also we can use Eclipse to produce it for ourselves. Okay, now let me give you a demo about this guy and the Eclipse guy. To use the command line version, you need to go to the root of your project. Uh, yeah, in our project, our packages start from here. Then you click here and just type CMD. It opens a command shell for you So this is for Windows. For other operating system, you need to find the equivalent. And we are going to uh, show you this part, the Java doc. So we type Java doc. Okay, so first you need to make sure that Java doc is in your path. So if you just type Java doc, it should show something. If it cannot recognize it, you need to put the Java bin in your Windows path. All right. So we are following the this um, command line. So Java doc. So what is the -d? What is the dest folder? This is a folder that you want to put all of your Java doc pages. Let's call it my doc for simplicity. And then we will need the source path. The source path, since we are in the root of the you know the app, the project, so we just say current folder, and then we will need the start the root package. Our root package, we call it u01 underscore enter underscore OOP, then dash sub packages. Sub packages is the same thing. Yeah, we can use the same thing. If you want to document only a specific sub package, you can name it. But for this one, we want to, document all of them. So, okay, so this is the command line. Just click enter. It creates the Java page. If you go to, let me see, here you see the Java doc, my doc is being created. So click on that, and it is a full application for documenting your application. So index, if you call it with the Chrome, and you see that a very nice documentation of your application have been created. So here you have all of the packages. So since there is no class inside the enter OOP package, so there is no classes here. And here we have the my class. And as you see, uh, you can put the comment for the class itself. And here is the summary part of the constructors. We didn't have any constructor methods summary here. You see, and here is the details of the stuff. All right. So let me see. I put. Okay. Let me. Okay. Yeah. Your document should be um, much more explain. You need to put much more explanation about your documents and so forth. All right. So this is the command line version. Let me bring up my Eclipse again. Okay, now we want to use the Eclipse for documenting our stuff. Yeah, you can go to here, the export, and okay, yeah, that's okay. You just find, search for the Java doc, and here, and just next. Okay. The thing that you need to here mention is that which part do you want to be documented. You can pick these packages and sub packages that you want to be documented. In here, you should make sure that which one do you want to be documented. If you just want the public members be documented, this guy. But if you click on the protected, then protected and public will be documented. So if you pick the package, all of them will be documented. And also use a standard doclet. So the destination, let's call it my doc2. My doc was created by the command line, so my doc2. Then next, here you can leave everything as is. And overview here again as is, make sure that it's the right Java version, and that's it. Just finish. Yeah, we have not saved our classes. This is a complaint that yes. Okay, so it has been created. Let me bring up this one. It has been created here. It's my doc2. Again, you see the same thing. You can open the index by your Chrome or whatever. Yeah, you see the same thing has been created here. Okay, to finish this section, let me show you a more complicated application. Let's see. So this is one of my applications. It's a utility I created for my cryptography course. Yeah, we create a command line here. Let me get rid of that and get rid of this one as well. Okay, so for simplicity, let me just copy and paste to prevent typing. Yeah. Okay, so it created this my doc. Open it with the Google Chrome, and yeah, you see there are a lot of packages here, and in each one you will see a lot of classes, right? Yeah. Also, the Java itself is documented very nicely. You can say, for example, yeah, Java 8 documentation, and you can go here and you see the Java itself has been documented with the Java doc. Okay, you can find everything and yeah, go to the class, and there are a lot of information here. Okay, so that's what I had for today. See you guys in the next lecture.